Good evening. It's Monday, October 18, 2021. Latest news spotted only here on R.I.C.E News. Giving you the latest and most incredible news for tonight. And here's what to look for our news. Real influence in community engagement. Live from the Pasig City, Kyla Rivera. Kyla.
Good evening everyone. So for today's report, I'll be reporting about the meaning of community engagement. So here it is. Community engagement is the process of working collaboratively with and through groups of people affiliated by geographic proximity and special interest, or similar situation to address issues affecting the well-being of those people. It is a powerful vehicle for bringing about environmental and behavioral changes that will improve the health of the community and its members. It often involves partnerships and coalitions that help mobilize resources and influence systems, change relationships among partners, and serve as catalysts for changing policies, programs, and practices. So all in all, community engagement is therefore a strategic process with the specific purpose of working with identified groups of people, whether they are connected by geographic location, special interest, or affiliation, to identify and address issues affecting their well-being.
Why community engagement? Everyone has a right to know about the risk to their health and also well-being. Community members are informed and also educated in issues at hand. The local are able to contribute them meaningfully to engage and to have the capability to shape those activities and building on the ideas of empowerment and participation. People's being involved, participating meaningfully in all aspects of one's life. Also, community engagement helps local to promote sustainable decisions. By embracing and encouraging participations enables to the policymakers to make more informed decisions by engaging with and carefully mapping out those needs, opinions, and visions of the local communities on issues that matters to them. Also, it promotes the sustainable decisions by recognizing and communicating of the needs and interests of all participants, including the decision makers. This increases acceptable of decisions and the community commitment to overcome or outcomes as a local knowledge from diverse groups to shapes and creates inclusive and effective decisions for them. We use community engagement to provide the opportunities for community members to contribute to public decision-making process and inform and educating communities on policy issues and impact to their everyday lives. Through feedback, community engagement enables to the government and public decisions making organizations to listen or turn on the demonstrative and impact to the community contribution. Community engagement then builds deeper, stronger, and more trusting relationship between the public organizations and the communities. That's why the community engagements are important to our life. I am hoping to everyone is in a good condition and hoping you all the great day ahead. This is Padalina of R.I.C.E News.
In the community engagement, there are inform, consult, involve, collaborate, and shared leadership. Okay, let's proceed to inform. Inform, there are some community involvement, wherein the community is provided with information. Based dito, basically, it just tells us na dito, nagkakaroon ng establishment of communication, yung mga channels outreach, kung saan nagpo-provide ng informations yung mga government practitioners sa community. Consult, there are more community involvement. Here wherein feedback from the community is asked. So based dito, parang ito yung humihingi sila ng advice or opinion. Parang sinasabi dito from the given information, nangihingi sila ng consult or yung tinatawag natin na feedback from the community or kung ano sa tingin nila, kung ano yung masasabi nila. Okay, let's proceed to involve. Involve, there is a better community involvement. Here wherein the community involves more participations in addressing issues and concern. Dito, sinasabi dito na yung community ay involved sa pag-raise or pag-address ng mga issues na kinakaharap ng community. Therefore, there's a sense of cooperation between the government, practitioners, and community. So, let's proceed to collaborate. Collaborate, there's a partnership with community and each aspect of project. Dito, sinasabi na nagkakaroon ng involvement of the community from project development to project solution. In short, there's a partnership building that is happening and trust building. The last one is shared leadership. Shared leadership, there is a strong partnership formed by means of empowering the community, implementing changes that can help build a better community. The next reporter is Ms. Valencia.
Actions for community engagement. So community engagements covers a broad range of activities. Some activity undertaken the government practitioners include first, reaching out to informing the community of policy direction of the government. So in community engagement, enables better understanding of the needs of the community and aspirations. And also knowing the policy directions of the government, including the participation and maintaining a sense of belonging in the community. So reaching out the informing people about the policy and directions of the government helps your community understand, inform, and persuade people to come up with the policy direction given by the government. That's consulting the community of policy directions of the government policy or build community awareness and understanding. So in consulting the community as to why, it's a part of the process to develop government policy would be a big help to promote justifiable decisions and clarify it of their decision making. So regards to building community awareness and understanding, community members would feel they are capable of contributing that's effective of the said activities and would be enable them to participate. Next, involving the community through a range of mechanisms to ensure that issues and concerns are understood and considered as part of the decision-making process. So in community engagement is central to any public health intervention. Its importance to even more significance during public health emergencies. So community engagement involves those affected in understanding the risk they face. So and it involves them in response actions that are acceptable. So how do you involve community members in decisions making? So they are to first inform the public with objective and balanced information. So consult with the public by informing them and then requesting input. So involve the public in the decision by accepting an input and reflecting this input in choice. So collaborate by engaging with the public and sharing the decision making with them. That's all.
Collaborating with the community by developing partnerships to formulate options and provide recommendation. Collaboration happens when a group of people in a community come together and contribute their expertise of the benefit of shared objective, project, and mission. Collaborating with the community involves parent councils, schools, and teachers, identifying and using resources and services from the community to help support the school community, children, and young people's learning. For example, provide families with information on community activities and organize intergenerational events and programs with local senior citizen groups. Next is shared leadership or empowering the community to make decisions and to implement and manage change. From the word empowering, meaning giving someone an authority or power to do something. Shared leadership has extensive benefit for members of the organization and the community as a whole. It increases involvement and allows the community to adapt change more quickly and come up with innovative new ideas. For example, a task force composed of members from different divisions of an organization, and a collaborative project between two or more organizations.
Tonight, I'm going to discuss the two principles of community engagement. We have two principles of community engagement. The first one is the planning phase, and the second one is the implementation phase. Phase is the planning phase. Planning phase states that it is to clarify the goal or the purpose. Planning phase is when the project plans are documented, the project deliverables and requirements are defined, and the project schedule is created. It involves creating a set of plans to help guide your team through the implementation and closure phase of the project. And it states that the planning phase can understand the community's culture, perception, economic condition, social networks, political and power structures, norms, values, demographic trends, history, and past experience. Also, planning can establish relationships with the formal and informal leaders just to make the plan more organized. This is implementation phase. In this phase states that we have to build a good relationship to the community to create change and to improve anything. It involves putting a project plan into action. The implementation phase is where you and your project team actually do the project work to produce the deliverables. Implementation phase can also recognize and respect diversity and ensure that the most vulnerable and reach and engage. And also, the implementation phase is when you identify, mobilize assets and strengths in developing the community's capacity and resources to make decisions and to take action. All for tonight. Goodbye and good evening, everyone.
Be right back here on R.I.C.E News.
Finger and clover, they go together. Finger and clover, my love affair. Lahat sisimutin, sarap ay uubusin. Lover ng clover, my clover finger.
Sumut-sarap kasama ang Clover.
The next reporter is live from the Pasig City, Rima Valenzuela. Rima?
I am Rima Valenzuela, bringing you the latest news update regarding the challenges of community engagement. The first challenge in community engagement is maintaining the involvement of the community over time. The involvement of the community is very hard to maintain from the beginning to the end of the community engagement. It is very important to know that while these individuals is involved in the community development process, they also have their individual lives to attend to, so they have to prioritize their time. So in order to keep them involved in this community engagement, we have to propose activities and plans that will keep them interested so that they will still choose to be involved in the community despite their busy lives. Another challenge that we are seeing is overcoming the differences of the responders, the community, and the influencers. A lot of factors contributes to the uniqueness of each individual in the community, and it affects their way of thinking, their beliefs and practices. However, these differences can be a great asset in the community development process. All we need to do is to be open to the opinions, suggestions, and ideas of other people. Each one must learn to listen while others voice out their ideas and opinions. So acceptance and respect is the key to overcome this challenge. Working with unique, especially vulnerable, hard-to-reach area is another challenge in community engagement. Travel may be a hardship, especially in reaching secluded areas, especially when you need to cross rivers or climb mountains in order to reach a specific community. In addition to that, these vulnerable or secluded groups may come from different tribes or ethnicity in the country. So they value their tradition so much because it traces back from the history of life, and it may be a challenge to instill modern changes. If that's the case, we can make effort to meet these tribes halfway. So we can help them understand or explain to them the need for community development and how these changes will be beneficial for them so that they will be involved in the community engagement. To give us more insights and ideas regarding the challenges in community engagement, here is Cyrus Santos for his report.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rima. So communities and responders may not perceive risk in the same way because there's no precise understanding of the term community risk disaster. That is because in every community has their own different perceptions of looking what disaster or the problem is. So communities have a complex social dynamics and changing our relationship, which influence how we engage them. So with our outputs or our perceptions of their entity can influence both our pro-social and anti-social behaviors towards them. Community engagement is complex and hardworking, requiring expertise and dedicated resources because it requires having time, funding, and people, which is also included here, the necessary skills or ability that the people possesses. Cyrus B. Santos here reporting. Thank you very much.
Good day, everyone. I am Ira Zuela, third year BSN student, and for the next topic, I will discuss about how us individuals should know the community we are living within. So this topic, it consists of the community structure, dynamics, power relationship, source of information, beliefs and practices, and available resources. So these factors are considerations we must be aware of as a member of a community. So let us now go on to the first topic, the community structure. What does community structure mean? So it is a composition of a community such as how it was built and how it was organized. It is divided into two parts, which is the formal and informal. So when we say formal, it was intentionally designed and organized, such as having fixed rules that are fully implemented within the community. And in most cases, formal structures are handled by government and those who have the authority to lead in community. In contrast to the formal, we have the informal. So in the structure, It is built with interlocking social structure which leads to people on how they can work together. So this can possibly consist of personal relationship of the people within the community as well as their common interests. In community structures, opinion leaders and influencers are involved. So why are they considered part of the community structure? When we say opinion leaders and influencers, those are the individuals who can encourage, persuade, motivate, and provide enough information that can influence the interests of their audience or citizens within that certain community. And the next topic, we have the community dynamics. So we should know this factor in our community because when we say community dynamics, it pertains to the progress or changes that occurs in a community. So this simply shows the development happening within the community, which us individuals should know because it can give us valuable insight onto how or what we would feel living within that community. For example, is a certain community doesn't set rules or to take actions in environment cleanliness. So this can result to pollution, which can affect our health. And as a citizen of this community, I would highly think to move out from this area because it would make me feel unsafe if there are no progress given by the authority of that community. And then next is the power relationship. When we say power, this perceives to having the ability to control and direct others. So this power relationship can give other people the ability to take action and be influenced by someone who claims that certain power. So for the example is the Korean drama I've been watching, which is the Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, wherein their community leader have been implementing cleanliness within their area, and every morning the household owners were required to join them in conducting cleaning drive every morning. So this simply provides the power relationship wherein the power of the leader influences his or her community members to take actions in maintaining the community clean and organized. Next is the source of information. This can either pertain to a person, thing, or place, which information can be obtained or arise. This one is very important in a community because it helps people who live within that area to be updated onto what current situation has been happening within their place, what projects or improvements were implemented for the betterment of their community. And the next one is the beliefs and practices. So this refers to the people in the community and their ideology about a certain factor, as well as their lifestyle being practiced on that area. This one is very important, and individuals must be aware of this in order to prevent misunderstanding and culture shock. When we say culture shock, this refers to the person's feeling of uncertainty, confusion, anxiety as they experience being present in the surrounding or environment they are not familiar with. And the last one is the available resources. So in my understanding, this refers to the availability of the necessities or the things that an individual need for a living, such as the food and hygiene needs. So in the community we are living within, we must know if we can easily obtain those resources that we need in our lives. So that is all for the topic I discussed, which is know the communities. Thank you for listening.
So we are now at the last topic of our report, the reminders. Communities must be at the heart of any public intervention, especially in emergencies. Businesses have been sidelined, gatherings have been shut down, and state lockdowns stretch on. It may seem that community is farther away than ever, but in fact, now is the time when we need community most. The WHO made a statement during a community engagement training and session, and they went on to point out that everyone has a right to know about risks to their health and well-being. Culturally appropriate information can help make informed decisions to reduce health risks, and actions taken by individuals, families, and communities affected are key to controlling the public health problems. The second reminder is, It is critical to know and understand communities in order to effectively work with them in all phases: preparedness, response, recovery of a health emergency. The goal of emergency preparedness programs is to achieve a satisfactory level of readiness to respond to any emergency situation through programs that strengthen the technical and managerial capacity of governments, organizations, and communities. The aim of emergency response is to provide immediate assistance to maintain life, improve health, and support the morale of the affected population. The focus in the response phase is on meeting the basic needs of the people until more permanent and sustainable solution can be found. Recovery are actions taken to return a community to normal or near normal conditions, including restorations of basic services and the repair of physical, social, and economic damages. Typical recovery actions include financial assistance to individuals and governments, rebuilding of roads and bridges, and key facilities, and sustained mass care for displaced human and population. And the last reminder is the multiple strategies and tactics that should be used to engage communities. Without community engagement, you can't continue running a good community, and you won't have any interaction. Communities exist, but to identify them, give them a place and involve them. Just sharing content is often not enough. Community engagement depends on the benefits for the members constituting it. Here are some techniques to start community engagement and, more important, to keep it going. Be responsive. Communities are all about interaction, so none of your community engagement strategies will work if you are unresponsive. So be responsive and get involved with your community. Read what people are posting about, like and share your followers' posts, comment on them, and get to know your followers. Another technique is give community members a place to express themselves. Keep in mind that a successful community is almost entirely about them, not about you. People love to talk to each other about things that matter to them, and this is something you should always encourage. Make it easy for members to tell their stories, share their experiences, and grow their passions. The more your members feel that they are being heard, listened to, and valued, the more likely they are to remain on your platform. This makes community engagement an excellent tool for retention.
And that's all for tonight's Time Disney News. Once again, this is R.I.C.E News, where the truth is our priority. We give justice to your curiosity. I am Ellen Grace Isalivio, bringing you the latest news around the globe. Thank you for being with